Alright, today, live review of the classic Ledaig 10-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. This is a CVH Spirits product, an island. This is an island whiskey, not an Isla. It's from the islands. It's from the Isle of Mull, as you see down here from the Tobermory Distillery. It is 46.3% ABV, 92.6 proof. It is non-chill filtered and of natural color. And this is 10 years in an ex-bourbon cask. Just straight old, simple ex-bourbon, heavily peated island whiskey. And yes, of course, it's produced by the Tobermory Distillery, which used to be called the Ledaig Distillery once upon a time. But they produce kind of like two distillates. The Ledaig distillate, which is their heavily peated variant, and the Tobermory distillate, which is their unpeated variant. Very traditional kind of method there. And one of the interesting things about the Tobermory distillery is they have no warehouses. So all of their whiskeys, despite being made on Mull, actually get shipped to the mainland for the aging process, which I don't actually know where these get aged. I think it's in a warehouse near Glasgow, but I have no idea. I think once upon a time they used to be in the Deanston warehouses, but I think that's no longer the case. But anyway, again, we're going to rate this out of 100. 25 for aroma, 25 for palate, 25 for finish, 10 for texture, and 15 for my personal experience. Bro, go to Discord. Not right now. I will catch you on Discord later, though. Alright. Boom. Get that spinning. We'll just give that a minute to kind of acclimate itself there a little bit. With some of that initial alcohol rest. That's a weird link. I don't like that link. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a weird link. We're going to get rid of that weird link. I'm sorry. I'm not going to click it, no, because it looks fishy. You say it's video, but I don't know who you are. All right. Your old video can go on YouTube, and then it's a link that makes sense, not some random fishy link. Doesn't matter how much you beg me. I'm not going to click a weird link. Okay. Enough about your weird link for right now. Okay. Initially, it's smoky. You get a little bit of that saltiness, though. It is kind of salty today. You get some of that nice kind of tropical fruit notes. Just slightly tropical, kind of like grilled pineapple-y. You got smoke in there. Also some like sea breeze, sea spray, kind of salty notes. It'd be like just a touch, kind of floral there. Floral, or maybe like, I don't know if it's like, there's like a floral note. I don't know if I want to call it like flowers or like closer to perfume, but there's kind of a floral component, at least today. Not too much sweetness right off the rip. Mostly just kind of like that fruity aspect. Brother, if you're gonna try to Rick roll me, use a link that I would actually click. I'm not gonna click that link, and no one should. All right. So, Ledaig, 10-year-old. Island Single Malt Scotch Whiskey on the palate. Cheers. I didn't click anything. I didn't hear the song, so no, I didn't get Rickrolled. It's a good try, though. You have to remember, I was around when Rickroll was a new thing that nobody knew about. Oh. Palate's kind of smoky. You're gonna get some of those like slightly charred pineapple kind of notes. And saltiness is in there. And you get some of that little bit of earthiness in the back palate. And in the finish, there's like, you start with some like spice, you get some more of that earthiness. Really salty today. I'm not sure I ever got as much kind of like brininess off of this that I'm experiencing today, but there's kind of like almost like seaweed level saltiness on this today. A little bit of oak at the very back. Again, not super duper complex, but strong on the kind of smoky elements, on the like fruity elements, and there's also some like spiciness in there. I think the peat for this comes from the mainland, so it's not like super like mucky like those Port Ellen maltings are. It's kind of like mostly in the kind of like wood smoke, slight earthy realm. Just a little bit of like sweetness that's kind of peeking in there though. Maybe slight vanilla. But like not the same as like bourbon vanilla. Almost like, what do they call that? Like Madagascar vanilla or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like French vanilla. French vanilla, smoke, salt, grilled pineapple, charred pineapple. Fruit skewers on the barbecue. But definitely like more briny than I remember from this bottle. But maybe I just maybe I need salt today, which normally is not an issue, but maybe I need salt today. I'm detecting the salt. Which has some good like sweet notes appearing. Kind of in that like French vanilla kind of realm. Like a good vanilla note with some like sweetness in there. It's actually coming in quite nicely. I kind of like that. That bourbon barrel vanilla is like really, really hitting for me on this bottle. Is that whiskey? Yes. glad you've tuned into this realm instead of whatever realm you've been living in. This is single malt Scotch whiskey. Yes, and Scotch. Pinky high. This is Scotch whiskey. You never drank one? Well, you don't have to. But this is a channel about exploring fine spirits and you know, if you are interested in that, it sounds like you're not particularly in tune to that world. This kind of content may not be for you. That's okay. Oh man, that is really vanilla today. I don't know what it is. It's like really salty and really vanilla. Like sweet vanilla. Look at my old video. I'm not going to look at it right now, so you need to chill about your video. Okay, it's not really an emergent issue right this second. Right now we're talking about the Ledaig 10-year-old. We'll watch your video another time. Again, the palate offers some smokiness, some sweetness. That fruit is kind of like tapering off, and I'm getting more of that like kind of like vanilla sweet element in the palate. Ends a little earthy, and again some spiciness on the finish, some earthiness in there, some oakiness on the back end. Finishes like medium plus, like it's got some length. Like I'm still getting like oak and smoke right now. And again, for me, this particular whiskey has always been like more on the fruity end, and it definitely has some strong, kind of almost tropical pineapple fruit elements, especially on the aroma. But kind of interesting for me, I've never had like it have this strong of a vanilla presence. I can't think of the last time I had a smoky whiskey that kind of like displayed this level of vanilla, so that's kind of interesting. I'm kind of enjoying that. And again, it's not like vanilla extract. It's kind of like, again, like French vanilla ice cream tier kind of vanilla, like not the dairy and creamy parts necessarily, but that like kind of sweet, like slight like that vanilla spice is like kind of concentrated to a point where it's not just like vanilla ice cream. It's like French vanilla. It's like that more rich kind of vanilla, sweet kind of note. There's still plenty of smoke there, especially on the aroma. Still salty. So I'll get one more sip and we'll start talking about numbers. Do Papa Pizza John? Do Papa Pizza John is good. Those are some words that chain together in a very strange manner.
I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days.
Thanks for that, Crassus. Cool Roblox guy, hi. I hope you're of legal drinking age. If you're not, bye. Yeah, it's pretty good. But we kind of know this. We kind of know this about Ledaig. It's a stalwart among like these kind of 10-year-old smoky whiskeys. Great value too. It's like 25% cheaper than like typical Islas of the same age, right? So you can't complain about the pricing of it. And of course, they've had some other offerings that are quite interesting too. But this standard 10, pretty damn good. Do you kidnapped 10 years? That doesn't make any sense. I purchased a 10-year-old whiskey, if that's what you're implying. All right. So on the aroma, at a 25, okay, no, I don't know why you're saying that, but we're just gonna not. Okay? Are you 10 years old? That's a good, you know? So, we're gonna give you a minute to think about your situation. And then maybe let me know if you want to be more civilized or not. It's kind of been a hoot. All right. Distractions aside. It's good smoke. There's smoke, again, that kind of like grilled pineapple note. Some like, again, fairly intense, like rich French vanilla characters. Salty. You changed your mind about what? You're sorry? Okay. You need to chill. Okay? Whatever setting you're on right now, bring it back down to like 5. Okay? You're being a distraction. Okay. Let's try to recenter ourselves here. It's a good set of aromas. They're not coming out in a very, like, emergent and interesting manner, but it's a good set of them. We're not hunting at all. Strong notes. I think on the aroma we'll go 18. Alright, at 25, we'll focus on the palate. Okay, good flavor intensity, smoky, earthy. You get that kind of like sweet French vanilla thing going on. Originally, we had more of that like grilled tropical fruit aspect, but now it's like more sweet and more vanilla for me. Um, Not a huge, wide breadth of notes, but pretty strong, pretty tasty. We'll go with 17. I think 17 is okay. All right, on a 25, let's focus on the finish, which is maybe like the least interesting part. There's some good length to it, but it's really not that interesting. It's kind of like spicy. You get maybe a little bit of that like sweetness in there. Some oaky character. Again, briny. I saw some brininess on the palate too. I got some black pepper out of the nose just now. So spice spikes at the start of the finish. You get that brininess. Some oak is there. Some smoke and oak. Slight bit of sweetness, but not a whole lot. Good length to it. 17. Lagavulin 16. Don't worry, I have a Lagavulin 16. Don't worry, I have one. I appreciate your suggestion, though. It is a good whiskey. Balvenie 12? Yeah, I have that one, too. I appreciate your suggestion. I know you're new around here, but I have a lot of whiskey. Like a mega shit ton. So, I do have a Lagavulin 16. I do have a Balvenie 12 year. We haven't actually opened our Balvenie 12, but I can show you in a minute if you want to see them, but I do have them. All right, so at a 15, or no, first we got to look at texture. So 17 on finish. Relatively speaking, yes, you're new. We've been doing this for quite a while. So out of 10, let's focus on the texture. I have almost nothing left, but it's enough. It's not the greatest texture. Maybe a little lacking. Been watching since 2023. Well, I wasn't streaming in 2023, so that's kind of interesting. Probably you would know I have a Balvenie 12 and a Laravel 16 if you've been around, though. Just saying. So it's not bad, but it's not great. I'll call it 4. Honestly, texture, I think 4 is fair. So out of 15, my personal experience with this whiskey, again, some great and kind of like heavily peated, smoky characteristics, but not very like earthy and sludgy and medicinal and iodine like you get from like those Isla whiskeys. It's more in like the typical like smoky, campfirey kind of realm. You can do a little bit of earthiness at the back of the palate. But kind of way less on the like vegetal notes, like the green, mint, kind of like grassy notes that sometimes you get, like the vegetal components, especially you get from like Isla whiskeys. You don't have that same kind of like peat component here. But again, you start off with some of that like orchard fruit character. But for me today, that's kind of like morphed into like a nice, rich French vanilla kind of sweet note. And there's also a good amount of saltiness all throughout. You get some brine, like pretty much every step of the experience on this whiskey. Which again, I don't feel like I've had as much brine on this bottle before, but today it feels very briny, very salty, very coastal in that way. Despite the fact that it's actually not aged on a coastal warehouse like a lot of the islands are, it still managed to get that salt in there somehow. But overall, it kind of like does a pretty great job of being like a typical 10-year-old offering. It doesn't do anything wild and crazy, but is like definitely like on the level with other comparable like 10 or 8-year-old heavily peated scotches that you would get from any other distillery, despite the fact that it's not technically an Isla whiskey or it doesn't really matter like if it's made on Isla with Isla peat or not. It can still be a great heavily peated offering. It just doesn't have quite the same peat profile. But definitely like sits and competes very well with like things like Lagavulin, an 8-year-old, or Lafroig quarter or 10, or like Ardbeg 10, these kinds of ideas. I think like this is kind of like slightly less complex perhaps than like an Ardbeg 10 might be, but kind of makes up for it with like different characteristics. So it's not super standout. It's kind of like among a field of other similarly high quality kind of younger age statement smoky whiskeys. So we'll give this a 7. I think 7's fair. 7 out of 15. So overall, 18 and 17 and 17 and 4 And 7 is 63. 63 out of 100. Which is just 2 points shy of being great, actually. This is good. This is good. A good whiskey. And just for like comparison's sake, if we talk about some of the like similarly age-dated, heavily peated whiskeys that we reviewed, Talisker 10 scored 67, so this is 4 points less than that. Lafroig Quarter scored 67 as well, so again 4 points shy of that. Lagavulin 8 scored 62, so this is actually 1 point above how I scored Lagavulin 8 year. So kind of like, again, in that pack of like, you know, pretty good, lower, like kind of like almost like entry range, lower age stated, smoky whiskeys. Great stuff. Definitely. Also, I think of all those bottles I just named, this is easily the cheapest. Again, I think this is like in my market like 25% cheaper than a Lafroig Quarter. Or it's like 25% cheaper than like Lagavulin 8, and I scored this one a point higher even.